Man.
Audio's working. Hi.
Welcome back.
Welcome to the King M.E show, where we attempt to offer a real outlook on a healthy relationship, real being relatable,
Entertaining
accountable,
and loving.
We are back on our regular live stream. Shout out to y'all. We here at the King M.E show, we attempt to decode modern dating and relationships.
Yeah.
Only in a way that we know how to. And what we've discovered over, I don't know, the last couple of months, really, since we've not gone live, is that seems like it's been a really long time since you and I have been live.
We were live. The last time we were live was the end of June.
I was a whole different.
You that, babe. I'm gonna give you that.
Shout out to William Ginn over at WTF Nation Radio. Gave the Japanese flags, it looks like. I'll take that. It is what it is. Do we have anybody on our platform at the King M.E show? Let's take a look.
I was about to say, I'm not sure.
All right, let's take that off the screen. So, today we're going to be talking about bonnets and durags.
Bonnets and durags, baby. But before we do, it is a new month, and we do have our calendar that we use, and it has pictures of moments from the previous year of us.
Okay.
So, this is August.
Yeah, folks can't see that.
Look here, hater.
Can you show it for me?
Yeah.
Let me see what this was. So this is, oh yeah, last year, at least the one on the left, you and I were in Las Vegas along with Queenie.
Vegas, baby.
And the other picture looks like one that we might have just taken right as a live stream ended.
Yeah.
I was also 55 pounds heavier.
Yes, he was.
About a year ago.
He was.
Yeah, so your boy is down about 55 pounds.
And
you know what I'm talking about? Bonnets and durags. Is it appropriate? What does that do? How does it affect your marketplace value out on the dating marketplace? Now, we've got something that we'd like to present, a little video, us testing out our acting chops, if you will. Take a look.
See you later, babe.
Where you think you going?
To the store real quick.
You see what you got on, right? You see what's on your head?
What's wrong with what I have on?
That bonnet? Nah, babe. We don't do that. When you go out the house, you represent me and vice versa. That bonnet needs to go off, like today. You can wear it all in this house. You cross that threshold, off. All right, so got that bonnet off. Bonnets.
I don't know the history behind it, and as much as I'm a fake history buff, you think I would have done this research, but I did not. What I do know is that for me as a woman, a bonnet is how I protect my hairstyle that I have. It's a way for me to protect my crown. I remember growing up, I had to make sure that it was going to last and survive the 2 weeks because she didn't want me walking around looking raggedy headed. Okay, so I did it, right? Like, she didn't want my black pepper greens. That's what, Jamaicans used to call the kitchens. She didn't want my black pepper, everything. Over time, bonnets have developed, bonnet scarves and all that stuff. It has developed from that thing, evolved from that thing that we put on at night to protect our hair. And it has grown into this whole protect my hair until I get to whatever desired event I'm going to. If that desired event is at 7 p.m. in the evening and I need to go and run errands before that, I'm gonna still wear this bonnet, this scarf throughout the course of the day until I go run that errand.
But who and how did we deem that it was acceptable to even start doing that?
I don't know who started it, but somewhere along the line, it just became okay. Like, so part of the reason why this topic for the country are starting, and we heard about the HBCU that flat out said that bonnets and durags aren't allowed on their campus or in the classroom. So we heard about that, and it was like covered. I'm in all of these like Black educator groups and everything like that,
Keep talking.
and that's all that they were talking about. They were talking about how this is something that, is this okay? And I'm like, I guess it's because I was a business major. I studied finance and I had to go to school. I had to go to my classes, my college classes, dressed a certain way. I couldn't just show up any old way. I remember my professor then, who is now my soror in her classroom. And that's the standard that I was used to from 20 years ago. So the fact that today someone has to tell people you can't wear this to school, it seems like ridiculous because I'm like, when did we get to the part where it was acceptable? Who said that this was acceptable? And again, maybe it's because I was a business major, so it was never acceptable for me, that I just don't understand why people started to think over time it was okay. Did I go to class in sweatpants before Professor Sorors? Um, Before her course, I surely did, because I live in Maryland. College was in Maryland. There were some cold days, them fall mornings, because I would take them 8 a.m.s. Those 8 a.m.s in November, yeah, those were cold mornings. I surely did put on some sweatpants, but I wouldn't dare go out in bonnets and stuff like that because, I was representing my family. I was representing my household, Jamaicans. Like, no, no, no. I wish I would have.
So let's go back to the before.
Hmm.
And this is for you, me, or anybody out there. Would you date them before if you notice that they regularly go out wearing bonnets, do-rags, pajamas, bedroom shoes, extremely revealing clothing, sagging pants, clothes that you consider sloppy or inappropriate? What if I showed up to Ellie's house with my pants hanging halfway down my behind?
We also have to throw in the mix that I'm from Baltimore. So for me growing up, I'm used to seeing people in sagging clothes and stuff like that. And we're also products of the 90s. So like we saw that all the time. Would I dated someone like that? Yes. Is that someone I would bring home to my family? No. And the main reason is because I always think about the fact that my mom is Jamaican and I love my mother so much, but she don't know what to say out of her mouth and she has really, really horrible facial expressions. So when she doesn't like something that she sees, her face says it all. And then sometimes it doesn't stop at her face, it just comes out verbally. And I don't feel like explaining that to someone. So I've always been mindful about who I brought home to my mother because
Would you say something to somebody before it got to that? Like, let's say y'all were planning on showing up and going back or going out to a function to like meet the parents. You don't know what they're wearing, but then you pull up and you see what they have on. Do you say something before you continue on with the date journey meetup?
no, because I look at it like you're grown. If common sense hasn't clicked into you that you should carry yourself with decorum and that you should dress a certain way, then I'm not going to say anything to you. However, it'll probably be the last time I go out to a function like that with you.
Shout out to Holly Leanne. She said, hey, with two
Hey,
exclamation points.
Holly.
Now, here's my take on it. It's different for the genders.
Oh, why?
So it's different, but you have to consider what that different means. Like, I personally, it's a preference of mine. Let's just call a spade a spade. How you show up and how you look, I think sets the tone possibly with how you're treated as well. Meaning, if you show up and you got booty shorts with the cheeks hanging out and cleavage that's just plow, 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 propped up, plumped up, all of that jazz, and you're, I'm gonna say this, don't cancel me, making a decision to accentuate that, then for that first date, because we're still at the pre kind of early stages, I'm looking at you more on the sexual side than I think the other side.
I think, in all fairness, some people want to be desired that way. But may I be transparent and honest for a second?
Okay.
You wear hooping shorts all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that is your standard outfit. What if someone ruled you out because you wear hooping shorts all the time?
Then they did me a favor.
But, like, that's what I'm saying. Why is it okay for you to wear hooping shorts and a tee all the time, but a woman couldn't wear something casual like yoga pants and, a bralette every day? Like, why can't she do that?
Because there's just a double standard, period.
That's not fair. I will say I stand by the decision of Tuskegee to say that there needs to be a standard in education. As a classroom teacher, as a high school teacher, I see students show up all the time in pajamas. I see students show up all the time with their heads hair covered in bonnets and in durags, and that goes for all genders. Like, I see that all the time. I see students show up in slippers, and the first thing that comes across my mind is how disgusting that is, because these are the same slippers that you're about to walk through your whole entire house with, and you're walking through the school with them, you're going to the bathroom with them on. So, and they're like the fuzzy ones. So I'm just like, oh, they're just attracting germs. And then you're carrying that back into your house. So I look at it from that perspective and I'm just like, ew, that's disgusting. But it's not professional. I feel like at some point we do have to start dressing for what we desire. And if you are trying to enter the dating market and you're dressing as though you just rolled out of bed, no matter what that may look like, whether it's tight, revealing clothes or sleeping wear, lounging wear, then I feel like you shouldn't be surprised if you don't get the most grand prize that there is, that exists, because that's not how you look. That's not how you're carrying yourself.
And I've told you, it's so obvious the way that people treat me based on how I'm dressed. Because I am a hoodie and basketball shorts type guy, I get approached casually often, like by just the average person
Hmm.
coming through our gated community where we live. Shout out to our gated community. The guards talk to me more casually versus when we're dressed up or things, or we're in the real dressy. Then it's more of the sir and
Hmm.
things like that versus the yo, what's up, man? You know what I'm saying? And I don't view it any kind of way, but I also know that when I'm out, the opposite gender does look at me different as well.
Right.
And I'm okay with the thought of, like, whether I was in a relationship or not, I'm okay with that. But just like you said, I can't then complain about how I'm being treated or how I'm
Hmm.
being viewed if my operandus modi, if you will, I think I said that all kinds of wrong, is to be relaxed and be casual, but I want to be treated like something else.
But then, so I do have to play a little bit of the devil's advocate side of it all, because I also say that we shouldn't be judged based on what we wear and how we look when it comes to certain things. And I know, like, it's a little bit of a catch 22, because on the one hand, power to women, we should be able to wear whatever we want without people jumping to conclusions about who we are and the level of intelligence that we have. However, when you know nothing about a book, all you can do is judge it by its cover until you get to know that really nice cover.
We got a couple of comments that I want to address. Let's start with Holly. Holly said, The corner store guys see me half asleep in PJs. I don't wear tacky-ish though. PJ pants. Then we got Time. Time is in the building.
Hey, Time.
Time said, this is the question for you.
Ooh.
When we went to school and young boys and his young boys, when we went to school and his young boys, do you think that it was fair that we had to take chairs down off of the table so that all of the girls can sit down?
Oh no, that never happened to me.
Same. I can't think of a time where did you go to school at where that was a thing? I can't think of a time or a situation where,
Like we had chairs on the desk, but you took your chair down.
yeah, you took your own chair down and you
Was
sat
it?
in your chair.
It wasn't me standing over on the side waiting for some young boy to come and like take my chair down for me because I'm too much of a lady to take it down myself. No, we took our chair down. Either that or you were gonna stand up for a hot little minute. One no dams on the stress type stuff happening over there.
Consider your high school time specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Did your mother dictate how you dressed?
No.
Mine didn't necessarily dictate how I dressed, but I couldn't just be like I couldn't be in holy clothes. Like that was really her only thing. Just don't be holy, raggedy looking.
So my mom didn't dictate how I dressed per se.
Were you aware of what she might say based on what you was wearing?
No, that's not what I mean.
Okay.
She didn't dictate what I wore, but our finances did. So
Okay.
it's not like I had money to go out and buy whatever was trending. Pajama clothes were for home because there was only a limited amount of money. Like she would spend money on school clothes and she would spend money on church clothes. It was only a limited amount of money. So it wasn't like I could go traipsing around in something that wasn't for that particular area. What was for church was for church. What was for school was for school. And what was for home was for home. And something got deemed for home when it was basically school attire that got too old and had been washed one too many times or something like that. That's when it got deemed materials for home. So I will say that she didn't dictate what I wore. It had to be clean. I can't have you showing up in somebody's hospital with some holy underwear. And my response would always be to her, it holy, holy, but it clean. Like that's what we would say. It holy, holy, but it clean. So
Do you think you would have the fortitude that if you were going out on a first date,
mhm.
and we're about to transition to the latter parts here in a second, but on a first date, you show up, the person's not dressed appropriately for what you're going to. Do you A, continue, B, change the venue, or C, continue the date, but there won't be a second? So there's a difference between A and C. A is you aren't gonna judge them by it and just continue on with the date. C is I'm gonna finish this because I'm here, but there's not gonna be a second. You make that decision and what you chose to do, that tells me about your decision making. But in my opinion, I don't think that enough people have the gumption to make that decision. A more appropriate answer might be, and this depends on what you were trying to do that night, don't have the date at all. Don't have the date at all. If you're going to show up and be respectful enough to be presentable in a certain manner based on what you're doing,
Mhm.
and they can't or they don't, cancel the date.
So, I mean, on the one hand, you could do that. You could look at it as sunken cost fallacy, sunken cost theory, and you've already spent the money, whatever, it doesn't matter. On the flip side, I look at it like I don't know the person's reason for showing up like that. Maybe they don't have more formal attire to match whatever we're about to do. And I can't judge them because they don't have it, but I can say we've planned and this is how you show up. um if you didn't say anything before, that tells me that you're not willing to make an effort, and that to me is why there wouldn't be a second date. We can go through with the current, but it looks like you're not making an effort to care about your appearance, so there won't be a second.
Time said that I make the person change. We're still in first date territory. How are you going to make somebody change?
And I'll say that, like, we're grown. I'm not going to force you to do anything. However, I will change how I behave and how I act. I don't have to go out with you. I don't have to see you a second time. And before that, Time said something along the lines of, and I don't know if he was speaking more to you or to me. He said everybody got church clothes. I don't know if Time, if you were speaking more to me or to King about saying that our mom wouldn't, or if you were saying your mom wouldn't let you go out the house and just anything. For me, I look at it like my mom bought my clothes in high school. She knew what I owned and what I didn't own. And I wasn't the type of child who would have like a secret wardrobe to slip into. That wasn't me. Like I was navigating so many things there in the morning when I went to school, and she wasn't there in the evening when I came back home from school. And we didn't have cameras outside. So it's not like she could see what I was wearing anyway. So I went to school respectfully dressed and did not change my clothes or anything like that throughout the course of the day. But again, it was a matter of me not wearing church clothes to school and wearing school clothes to church. Like that was her big thing. Like those were two separate worlds, and never should the two have ever intertwined. So for me, nah, she ain't care. She literally was not checking for me in that capacity.
Our mainstream ended, but vertical will still lie.
Okay.
All right. Now, part of this conversation started because of TU. You know, if you went to Tuskegee, then you would know that.
That they stole that from Howard?
What is Howard's? HU?
HU, you know?
Wait, who
Like
was first?
Howard.
Like Howard was established before Tuskegee?
I believe so, yeah.
Oh,
Howard's a Mecca.
okay.
Let me double check.
So
Let me double check that.
one of the things that caught this was that the president of Tuskegee, who's an Air Force general, by the way, or a retired Air Force general, because you know Air Force sets the standards, basically said that how you show up to learn is how you're prepared for life and things. Like you highlighted earlier, I'm a casual guy. I'm comfortable in casual. Unless we're going to
Howard was first.
Howard first. Okay, all right. Unless we're showing up to something together, like a dinner or an event or whatnot. Like I'm not gonna be casual dressed down.
Mhm.
I know better than that because we represent each other. But if I'm out going to the store,
No, homie, you still represent me.
a black tee
You still represent me
and
though.
hooping shorts,
You still represent me. The funniest thing is I have a student in my class who saw someone that we both know, and like she didn't have a reference picture of you, and she thought that because that man knew me, that you can't go but so far without running into someone that someone knows. So you go out and you see people who know me.
does presentation matter for job interviews?
1000%.
Does presentation matter at your employer?
Depends on what you do. Yes. But so not depends on what you do. There are some things that matter no matter what. Proper hygiene always matters. Grooming yourself always matters, but I feel like your attire depends on your job.
Okay. Does appearance matter for networking events?
Always, yes.
So why don't we treat your appearance and dating the same way? Why doesn't it get the same application across dating and
Well,
relationships?
that's the thing. It should. It definitely should get that same level of respect, and I don't know why it doesn't get the same level of respect.
Time said no, presentation doesn't matter if you're getting a hookup and you know somebody.
Come on, we don't want to give the overall appearance of you just got to know somebody to be able to get the job. But yeah, you're right, Tom. I'll say this. Our school district, for the educators, we actually in our contract, we don't have any verbiage as to what we have to wear. There are some school districts around the country that flat out say you can only wear jeans on the last day of the work week. Um or you can't wear jeans at all, or you can wear jeans as a part of a buyback program, like you donate $5 for XYZ whatever, and you can wear jeans that week. There are some districts around the country that say that. Our district does not have any verbiage for what we can and can't wear. It just has to be dressed to school before, to work before, and it's kind of low. The way I look at it, look, God gave me a gift, and it doesn't matter what I put on, they're still going to show. Unless I wear a really, really baggy shirt, they're still going to show regardless. Is that something that someone else would agree with? Probably not. But hey, life happens.
Let's fast forward a bit in a relationship. You knew them when you met them and they were a certain way. Let's say you were a bonnet in person wearer and I came to you after we've established a relationship and I say, babe, yeah, I need you to not go out in public wearing bonnets. How does that affect the dynamic of a relationship when you try to change somebody's appearance after you've gotten in a relationship?
I think that's unfair to the other person because I would look at it like, but you knew this is exactly how I dressed when we first met. You didn't say anything there. Like, even what Time said, correcting them on that first date, you didn't say anything when we first met. You didn't say anything when we first started to hang out. So why are you saying something now? And I wouldn't do it.
I think, ooh, I believe I'd want to know your why. I would want to know why you said something later on. Like, let's say you weren't a country club type people when you initially met because that wasn't what you could afford,
Hmm.
but then you became country club later in life. But the other person didn't quite country club cultured up, so to speak.
And that's when you start to see people leaving because they got a change in their earning bracket, and then they changed their spouse because that spouse couldn't adapt to the new environment that they were in. And that's the thing, like that really is a reality. You'll hear it so many times that like, oh, and it really is he upgraded his wife. Where, being equally yoked comes in. You got to be with someone who is ready to grow with you and make those changes. Look, if your salary changes to the point where we are now country club people, honey, we are now country club people. Okay.
But what does that mean? We talk through that so that people understand.
So that means that I am going to start spending a little bit more time caring about my appearance. I don't wear makeup. I spend the time doing my nails. I don't get my eyebrows done, like that type of stuff. But if your salary starts dictating that that's the lifestyle that we're living, then I have to adapt to that. Our home has to adapt to that. It's going to be a big shift initially, and then going going with that because your lifestyle has to reflect like where you up wearing whatever you want to wear all the time. Show up Adam Sandler for every single thing. Other than that, yeah, you do have to make that adjustment.
All right, Tom's got a couple of comments here. Let me see if I could catch one of these. But all of a sudden, it's we when it becomes we are in this together. And let's see. But you know what's real important is if a person doesn't want to change for you and they're married to you, that should tell you a whole lot.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
100%, because your vows say for richer or for poorer, and sometimes when you cross into that richer, you do have to change your appearance a little bit. It's your core person that shouldn't change. Maturity in your earnings that you have experienced.
Let's flip it. Let's say when we were first going out and dating, you were all prim and proper, I was all prim and proper. And then as we got moved in, got together, we started slouching on that the hygiene, the dress and appearance. I'm not taking a bath every night. I'm not brushing my teeth every other night. Um, what are your thoughts about that? Where you were showing up good at the beginning, but then all of a sudden you got real comfortable after we've gotten our hooks into each other.
So first of all, where you lost me was that there was a change in hygiene. If there's a change in appearance, that's one thing, but a change in hygiene is something totally different.
Okay.
But I have been with men who the longer we were together, their hygiene did change. And that's problematic
Why?
for me because I feel like unless there is a mental health issue, there shouldn't be a hygiene issue. Like your hygiene should remain good. Like
Okay.
you still need to wash, right? Like even if it's a bird bath, not even if it's you still need to wash because you got to get the back of the neck. Like
Okay.
you got to get in there. Um but like if we both met and we were both very prim and proper and everything like that, and then over time, we stopped dressing up as much, but it was a we thing, not just one person. If we both stopped dressing up as much and if we both made the decision to not get, pay for beauty services, but to like start doing them at home because we're still grooming ourselves, but we're is trying to like still live that posh lifestyle, then I feel that that's where the problem comes in when you two are not aligned.
Okay. Tom said, "What's a bird bath? Women take bird baths. Men need to wash their behinds."
I'm not going to disagree with you. I do not feel like unless there is a financial or an allergic reason, because I do recognize that there are people who are legitimately allergic to water, and I'm not saying that to be funny. I do mean that in all sincerity. There are people who are allergic to water.
That's a small.
It's a very small percentage, but it's still like it still exists. So I feel like unless you're allergic to water, or it is a financial reason, you need to be taking a shower at least once a day. Like water needs to completely cover your entire body once a day, unless it's an allergy reason or financial reason. Point blank, period. There are some people who shower more than once a day. Okay, great. I also understand that babies don't need to take a bath. Worked with the elderly. I understand that an elderly person's skin, similar to a baby skin, can't handle being washed every single day. I understand that. So that's where like your bird baths come in. Elderly skin, the older you get, your skin becomes like it loses a lot of that elasticity and it can't handle being washed every
You
single
can
day.
rub yourself like raw to where your flesh could rub off. Ugh.
At an old age, yeah. So they really aren't supposed to get showers, take a bath every single day. Forget that there are a lot of similarities between the really, really young and the really, really old. They
That's
carry
funny.
a lot of similarities, that being one of them. They don't need a shower every day.
And you could be allergic to some kind of soap, like Tom said as well. And
Mm-hmm.
you also had. All right. Earlier, we made a statement that when we go out, we represent each other.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that?
So number one, we're public facing people. We post each other's pictures on our social media platforms. So sometimes there are some people who see me and they literally think of you. Like you're the first person who comes to their mind. And then there's some people and they're like, I can't think of your name, but I think I saw you on Miss Early's desk, like a picture of you on Miss Early's desk or something like that. So they see you and they think of me. We represent one another. When we go out in public, who I am is a reflection of you. Um, it like I step out, people see you. That's a good thing. Like I don't take that any type
Why
of
do
negative
we do
way.
that as a society?
Well, it's because, and I know you hate this term, but I do have to say it, we're the other half. Like
I don't hate that term.
I thought you didn't like the term better half, other half, and all
I don't
that.
like better half.
Okay,
You said other half.
other half.
That's a nuance difference.
Person, and you expect to see the other, or your mind, or you can see a word that the letters are inverse, but you know what the word is because your mind is filling in the blank with what it should correctly be. It's the same thing with us. You see,
That I said that about the better half thing like early into us getting to know each other. You remember
here's the
that?
thing, my memory is trash except for when it's really good. And there are things that dictated my behavior over the 4 years that we've been together.
Hmm.
And that is one of them, that he does not like the term better half.
All right. There.
Mm-hmm.
Read that to me. Preference, standard, or control?
All right. So is this a preference, a standard, or control? for you two in the audience, okay? So you got to respond as well. Preference, standard, or control. I'm not attracted to women who wear bonnets in public.
Preference.
Okay.
Preference, standard, or control.
Mm-hmm.
I don't date men who wear do.
Pass somewhere between preference and standard. Let's go with preference.
Okay.
Preference, standard, or control. I don't want my girlfriend wearing revealing clothes.
Man, because it depends on what she does. You as an educator and your holiness stature.
I think we've learned I'm going to wear what I want to wear.
Yeah, however, the revealing nature is the thing. And do we have I don't think we had we had a private thing.
I think we had a private
there's some stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a standard.
Okay.
It's a standard. All right, for me. But what about y'all out there? For the, let's see, if we were going somewhere together, I expect you to dress appropriately. Preference, standard, or control.
Janet Jackson said, control.
You can't leave the house wearing that. That's control.
Which one? That one?
At the very top, yep.
You can't leave the house wearing that. That's control. What about preference, standard, or control? I'm not going anywhere with you dressed like that.
Standard. I don't think it's control. You're setting the boundary for what you want to do. So you're saying, hey, if you're going to wear that, I ain't going out the house with you.
I mean, if you're a Ravens fan and someone's trying to walk out the house in the Steelers jersey, I can definitely understand you saying that. Like, that's just, you are setting the standard. But otherwise, I think that's control. Like, you're not going out the house with me dressed like that.
No, because it still gives age. It's a difference in you're not wearing that. That's control. You are not wearing that. Like,
what if someone were to say, all right, fine, I'm not going to go out with you. I'm going to go out after you. Nuance in words.
Yes, true.
Time said
control.
control. Time said, I'm not going anywhere with you dressed like that.
It's control. We're 2v1 on that at the moment.
That means we won. That means we won, Time.
Let's go back and play that clip again.
Okay.
And y'all let me know what y'all think about this clip. Take a look.
See you later, babe.
Where you think you going?
To the store real quick.
You see what you got on, right? You see what's on your head?
What's wrong with what I have on?
That bonnet? Nah, babe. We don't do that. When you go out the house, you represent me and vice versa. That bonnet needs to go off, like today. You can wear it all in this house. You cross that threshold, off. Now, that was the standard. I was setting the standard.
Whatever, that was control. It's like, I'm kidding. All right, is there another one?
No, that was the last one. basically the important distinction is if you're looking at something that's a dating standard, that's an example of saying something like, I don't date people who dress that way. That's a standard. If you're going to say, hey, I don't date people that always want to show their butt cheeks out in public, that's a standard, and you are allowed to have that standard. Control is saying you need to stop dressing that way because you're dating me.
So while that may be control, I also don't think that that's a bad thing to say.
I agree.
I don't think that it is problematic for a man to say to a woman that he is exclusive with that she should stop wearing revealing clothes. I don't think that that's a problem. And the reason why I say that is because you dress like that to be able to attract a man. You got the man. Um, so dress like that for your man, not for everyone else.
Let me throw this in there. I think that there's levels to revealing as well.
Hmm.
You could be an overly busty person,
Yeah, that's not me. I'm busty, but not overly busty.
but the way that you accentuate your bust, there's a classy way of doing it. There's a classy feminine way of doing that versus a trashy way of doing it. And you know what that looks like when you see it.
I agree. I also say this. Um, there's sometimes where I'll ask you how you feel about me wearing XYZ. And then there are other times where I'll ask you to choose what you would like me to wear. So, for example, I remember one time male friends was coming over and I may have been like really, really casually dressed. And you would say, hey, Shell, like XYZ is coming over. And I'm like, okay, bet. Do you want me to change what I have on? And if you say yes, I will go and change because I kind of feel like there are some things that I wear in the house that are strictly for my comfort and your viewing, and it's not for anyone else to see. So if you say that you have a male friend who is coming over and you want me to change, I don't feel any type of way about that because there's a difference between what's for everyone's eyes and what's for your eyes. I don't have a problem with that, and I'll initiate those that changing. Like it's not something that you have to say, "Oh, well, X, Y, and Z is coming over." Pause, pause, pause. Can you go change what you have on? Like that's not appropriate. You don't have to do that. I'm gonna prompt that and say, "Do you want me to change?" And if you say no, I'm like, "All right, bet. Well, I'm finna sit here on this couch and watch TV and just chill and be totally fine with it." Sometimes your response is, "If you're comfortable, I'm comfortable." Whatever. Um, and like that's just how we are. But I do truly believe that to an extent, unless I'm stepping, especially if I'm stepping out with you, there are certain things that I'm not going to wear out of respect for you because this isn't a body for everyone to see. It's the body for you to see. And if we're not together, oh, then there's definitely a level to what I'm wearing. Like if 8 is the highest that I would go as far as like the sexy scale and that's 8 with you, then I'm taking it down to like a 5 or something like that if I'm not
Hmm,
with you.
okay. Would that be different if you were in a relationship?
Yes.
Interesting. Okay. Now we got to wrap those decisions that you're making because there's a bit of a respectability factor that comes with your appearance and how you walk out the house. So it doesn't matter what your age is, whether you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, or beyond,
Mhm.
your appearance matters. And sometimes I think it's men that forget that more than the ladies. But also, let's just call a spade a spade. Ladies are more judged on appearance than guys are.
I think both of your statements are true. Women definitely are judged more in a lot of areas, not just appearance. We catch that like a lot more than a guy would. But I will say I do think it's a guy who is going to drop beauty standards and stuff like that and habits faster than a woman will. But a woman will definitely get in trouble more than a man for that type of stuff. And it's not fair.
Shout out to the Sports Bar USA. We got what do you hear? What do you say? I don't date people who root for Alabama football. Let's end the live stream on this note. We got some technical stuff that has to be figured out.
I know,
We
and like
apologize for
I
that.
can see that King is like not okay, and I'm trying my hardest to keep him up. I'm
I'm
sorry.
good. No, I'm good. Like when I went upstairs, it was to turn off the other computer because I thought that maybe that was taking bandwidth. I don't know, but it will be figured out before next Monday. That's for certain. So for those of y'all that tuned in and commented, thank you. Time, your comments in there in the chat was definitely engaging, and we appreciate you for that. So like, I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that at all. You know what? I was about to say something, but that's actually a whole different conversation topic that we could focus on later. Don't forget to go to our website, thekingandmeshow.com. We have a newsletter that is about to come out here on this Sunday, right?
This Friday.
This Friday. And in part of what we have for the newsletter is we're doing a giveaway. Haven't necessarily announced what the giveaway is, but it'll be something.
It'll be something.
And we don't just give away trinkets or whatnot. We give away valuable stuff over here.
We give away money. Like, let's just be honest.
Yeah, typically.
Let's not sugarcoat it.
So if you want to be eligible for the giveaway, go to thekingandmeshow.com and sign up for our newsletter. In the newsletter and in the subsequent email that gets sent with the newsletter, there's going to be a question. And the only way that you'll know what the answer is if you read the newsletter. And what time is the newsletter being delivered?
So it is going out at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday. That is the time that it is going out.
Time says, don't let little things destroy a great marriage. Stay consistent and never let your faith
never lose
faith in each other. Those are some wise words.
Yep.
Wise words. And you have to be intentional about the relationship that you're in. And I'm going to tell you, you know you're ready for a relationship if that doesn't make you go, anytime you're asked to spend time with your significant other. So keep that in mind when you are out there being in a relationship. If you ever go, chances are that that's not the relationship for you. So thanks for tuning in. For those of y'all on WTF Nation Radio, Ice is going to be live here in a couple of minutes, so come back and watch him over for that. Sign up for our newsletter, thekingandmeshow.com. We'll be back next week with our tech stuff fixed, and we appreciate y'all.
Thank y'all so much for tuning in. To everyone who joined, to everyone who will catch the replay, no matter where you catch it. We appreciate the viewership. We appreciate the support that you have given us. I love what Tom is saying right now. That's a great feeling right there. You really know you're in love when you make that noise as a
Shout out to you, Ty.
Thank you all so much for tuning in. We can't wait to see you again next week. And just like how King had a big celebration for his birthday this month, next month is my birthday. So we're really seriously, the newsletter is already scheduled to go out on the 28th of this month. Let me know if I need to add your name. That means you need to go ahead and you need to sign up on our website so that you can get you can automatically be entered for a chance to win. So we'll see you all soon. Our tech issues will be fixed. Let me give this man a big giant kiss so that it can take away all the pain, because that's what my kisses do. My kisses take away all his pain. Come on, baby. Bring it in. Let me nibble on your nose. Come on. Let me nibble on your nose.
Bye.
Come here. Let me just nibble.